Hello and welcome everyone to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests and our lovely patrons to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined as always by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Ash Polson and Steve Bowling, along with our very special guest, Isla Hinck of the Easy Allies, as if it wasn't obvious enough. You got the branding on point there, Isla.
Yeah. Isla, but yeah.
It's Isla.
Oh my god, tricky. I am so sorry. Isla.
It's a silent S. The Scots love to put in random letters in names.
just think island. And then
right.
Yeah,
right.
Island.
But then don't think Isla Nublar from Jurassic Park, because then the S comes back. So.
And you Jurassic Park throwing me off.
There we go.
Isla.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Don't feel bad.
Oh, I thoroughly embarrassed myself right at the beginning. I apologize.
You're right.
Dude, we're GVG.
Goodness.
Mixing ourselves is what we do. You know GVG out of context. That's what we do, man. We're always, yeah. It's all good.
I feel more embarrassed about getting somebody's name wrong than I am about the Game Gear out of context thing that happened over the weekend.
Nice.
Right.
I do have to say, Isla is not the first Easy Ally to appear, but this is the first appearance of the Easy Ally studio on the show.
Yes.
Which is very cool to see. Back in, nearly back in full operation, it sounds like.
Yeah, last minute audible, I had to come down here because the air conditioner is broken, and the only time the air conditioner repair people could come was sometime between an hour ago and allegedly from an hour from now. So if I suddenly answer my phone and run away, that's what's happening, but I'll come right back. But that's why I'm here. Otherwise, I'd be from my house.
Nice. Well, no worries. You give us an air of professionality now.
Yeah, right?
And air conditioning is just a little bit important. I think you were saying, Isla, before we talked, you were saying it was like 90 degrees in the studio?
I was shooting in here for like 4 hours a couple of days ago, and it got to like almost 90 degrees.
Oh,
right now,
God.
It's like 84 or something. It's pretty bad.
Oh, that takes me back to my old apartment because it only had an air window unit. And if I had to record it, it was so loud. If I had to record anything, thing had to be shut off. So streaming, any type of recording, nope. It was time to boil myself, and it sucked.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Before we go too far, though, it is a Monday, and as always, we are sponsored by the absolutely wonderful Game Orb. The Game Orb is a fledgling channel that has focused mostly on Nintendo content until recently. While they're still running Let's Plays of Nintendo games like Splatoon 2 and Super Mario 3D All-Stars, going forward, they'll also be covering games on the Xbox Series X like Portal Still Alive as part of a new daily upload schedule. So be sure to subscribe to the Game Orb at the link in the description. And let's get them to, we got 250 last week. We're at 281. We are so close to getting them to 300.
Let's get the Game Orb to 300, everybody. And let's show them the power and the love of the GVG community.
Absolutely. Let's get them to 300.
It's just 19 more folks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as always, they are
in the chat too. Pin both links in the chat.
They are a very generous sort as well because they want to promote their friend's YouTube channel, Galactic Reaper. And as Ash said, you can find the links in both the description and pinned at the moment. So yeah, thank you so much, Game Orb, and love all the support to them. I think I love how we can just keep raising them up and get them bigger and bigger. So that's awesome.
Yeah, let's get into 300, then eventually 400, 500, 1,000, then the world. The world.
Eventually, we'll make them bigger than us.
Yes, exactly.
Then you'll have to sabotage them a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like, hey, this worked a little too well. You want to come back?
I love this. I love this. Claxon in the chat says, Reggie voice, and if you haven't subbed to them yet, what's wrong with you? Exactly. Hey, AxeCon just subbed. Thank you so much, AxeCon.
That's awesome.
Let's drive those subs up for the Game Orb. Thank you all so much.
Absolutely. All right. Well, with that said, welcome to a brand new week. How was everybody's weekend? How are you feeling, Steve? Because you were under the weather last time.
Yeah.
Thank you for running the show again. Because God, that was scary.
Welcome to my world. Running streams is not easy work.
You make it seem easy.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Man.
I'm glad I was missed. No, I was very terrified. So for those of you that don't know, I missed Friday's show, but I was actually sick on Wednesday's show, and I was just hiding it. I went down. I told Derek on Wednesday night after the show, I was like, you know what? I don't feel very good. I'm just going to crash. And the next morning I woke up and I had a fever of 102. I was just, ugh. And I got, naturally very concerned. I'm fully vaccinated, but I still got really worried. And so I went down and got a COVID test, and they were like, yeah, of course you don't have COVID. You've had your second shot a month ago, but, better safe than sorry. I've got a lot of kids. I obviously want to make sure they're safe, but this patient 0 was my son. And so he gave me whatever he had, and it just hit me a lot harder because I'm not 6. And so I don't bounce back as easy. And so I spent...
He's going to physical school now.
He will be going to so he's on summer break, but he starts school up again, but this was like his parting gift from kindergarten. They're like, have a horrible sickness. And they're like, give it to your dad, kids. It'll be fine. And then so I spent Friday just resting. I was in bed pretty much all day Friday, and I wouldn't say that I'm fully back to normal, but I'm operational again. And that's a good thing. I got to see my friend from Colorado over the weekend. I just kept him at a safe distance. Just played games, ate food, enjoyed my weekend. It was pretty nice, chill time. Bought a new couch. Adult things we get excited for past the age of 30. I was like, ooh, a sofa's here.
Nice.
But yeah, good weekend overall. And playing a game I can't yet talk about, but I can't wait to talk about more with you, Derek.
Yes. Completely get that. Well, I know Ash, you're starting to feel a little under the weather as well, so hopefully you do not get what Steve had. I don't know how he would have transferred it, but
I was like, get me off this call.
Yeah,
I was like, I gotta get out of here. I'm leaving.
No, right? No, I don't think I'm contagious. I had a really bad stomach bug on Sunday that kept me in bed most of the day. I was just like doubled over in pain. Fortunately, I'm feeling a little better today. Still not 100%, but I'm feeling better. But I don't think I'm contagious. Nothing like that. Mine was a stomach thing. So I don't know. The universe seems to have it out for GVG's health right now. I don't know, or at least GVG members' health right now.
I refuse to get sick before E3.
Right, exactly.
I'm
getting it out of my system now. That's why I'm getting the stomach bug out of my system now, prior to E3. Speaking of E3, which we'll be talking about, I did get my media registration confirmed today, which I think
we got some things to talk about regarding that.
I'm not sure. But yeah, our patrons will know I took care of a few Patreon posts over the weekend regarding our next weekly discussion and such, and I'm actually just still chipping away at I finished like one of the toughest challenges in Sackboy: A Big Adventure over the weekend, which was nice. I've basically 100%ed it, not quite, but just devoured that game. Loved it. And then I'm actually just trying to play a little Ratchet & Clank PS4 with the performance patch on PS5 just to get ready for Rift Apart, because I'm hyped for it as well. So, good times.
Yeah. What about you, Isla? What have you been up to?
Oh, what have I been up to? Damiani and I were in the studio the other day. It was the first time I'd seen any of the other allies in person in a year and a half. And we were getting everything ready for E3 because we're coming back here on the 10th for the kickoff gaming, what have you.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be gnarly. Early morning call times again, everybody in person. It almost feels like E3. So that was pretty cool, taking care of that. What have I been playing? I've been playing Miitopia, which
nice.
is like shockingly not terrible. I don't know. I think it's
a fun little game.
It's stupid as hell, but it's fun.
Yeah, but, I benefit from having like a gigantic family. I have 4 kids, and so my Miitopia party is my whole actual family, and it's really,
I love it.
It honestly is a lot more fun than I expected. I'm enjoying the hell
really
out of
cute.
it.
Yeah, I just got to the castle, which is like the second area.
Nice.
But yeah,
with the Fat King.
yeah. Otherwise, just like dealing with, because I came out publicly like 2 weeks ago, week ago, on the 28th, whenever that was. So I've mostly been dealing with that, which is pretty good so far. So
that's good. I am very glad to hear that.
Yeah, and congratulations again, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. quite awesome. But I suppose we should probably get to
Actually-
the news because we tend to go long in general. Oh yeah, before
Sorry,
that, thank
really
you.
quick. Yeah, just a couple people in our live audience chat, Rob Armanex and Michael Phone, are saying that Isla, your audio is pretty quiet.
Oh my god, I can move this closer too. My mixing board is in the other room, and I'm here alone.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I can move it closer or go in there if it needs
That,
to
all right.
be.
that sounds pretty good.
Or you could
little better, at
boost
least.
me in Discord, or is it too late for that?
No, I
Does
can
it already
boost you.
have-
So I boosted you in Discord, but I got more tricks up my sleeve.
All right,
give
well,
me
let me
just
know.
a-
I can go in the other room and make myself louder too.
Give me just a sec here. I'm doing some
Not
quick
sure which mic this
on the
is.
fly audio mixing.
3,
Let's-
I think.
In the meantime, Jaden Buck, thank you very much for the $10 donation. Says if you guys were to put up your own studio for GVG, would it be 3 individual mini studios within your homes, or 1 full studio where you would all meet? It would have to be the mini studios.
Yeah, as much as I would love having us all together in one place, it's just not possible because we're just scattered. I'm in LA, we're all in different places, unfortunately. And but God, I'd love to, because I have been to the Easy Allies studio several times
Yeah.
for collaborations, and I love that studio. Recording in a collaborative place with other people in the same room is so much nicer than
It's
having to do
really
it over
nice.
Discord. Yeah, it's so. I wish we could, but unfortunately, just the reality is that we're all in 3 separate places.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of us are going to be able to move.
Yeah, I've long dreamed about having like a studio similar to what Easy Allies has. But I've kind of settled into the idea that if and when I do build a studio, it'll just be at home. And I would definitely love to have the ability to host other people within that space, but yeah, there's never going to be like a GVG home office, as it were, unfortunately. But
No.
Yeah.
we'll make you
All right.
feel at home when you're here.
Exactly. Hey, you've already been in Steven's Ash's tub, so there you go.
Yeah.
That's
And
about as
we
homey
will
as you can
be-
get.
I do have an update on that front, on the tub front of all things. I am shooting for July to when I will be able to go visit Ash in LA, and we'll do an episode of TNT from his place. So
Right.
look forward to that. I'm still putting the particulars of that trip together because it requires lots of liquor and an Airbnb. So, it'll
How
be
is
a
a
good
tub
time.
involved? How is a tub involved in that?
We've
Oh,
made
man.
So,
some
long
choices.
story short, we had did a topic on the whole tub situation on Twitch.
The hot tub
And-
thing, yeah.
Yeah, and Steve was sort of incredulous about the whole thing, about it being, like, why is that a
Right.
thing? And then our lovely fans, people that watch us, decided, you know what? We're going to donate enough. So, Steve, next time you do TNT, you're going to do it from your tub.
Yeah,
So
I
we did.
shared our
We're
audience.
fully
and they did
clothed.
not
We're fully
blink.
clothed, but
Absolutely. I love that.
So
Yeah.
we've actually since then gotten a few donations, several donations in the amount of $69.69.
Sure.
As you will.
So Steve did a tub stream. It was called Wet Steve Wednesday, and then I did one last week, which is called Wet Ash Wednesday. And then Derek, I believe tomorrow you're doing Derek. Drittner, right?
Wednesday.
Or Wednesday, sorry, not tomorrow.
yeah.
So
I'm up
Wednesday
next.
is your tub stream, and it's been a thing. People seem to really love it. I don't get why, but I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to turn it down. If
I love
you
it.
want to see me
Nope.
in a tub, I'll do it. So
Not at all.
That's a weird way to phrase it.
no, it is. You're right. But I will never use that Frozen 2 branded grape bubble bath soap again. That shit gave me a real ass headache. It was so
Ooh.
gross. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't
Awful.
handle like artificial scents like that. It's too intense.
it was
And that-
really bad.
And those kid ones are just so overpowering.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Um,
Real quick though, before we jump into the news, Axcon with with a $2 donation saying Remu for Smash, Fighter Ami Spirit and Music. Remu. Is she
Reimu Hakure. I've seen her name floating around. What is she from? She's actually a pretty highly requested. Oh, she's from Toho.
Oh,
project.
Toho.
Oh,
Okay. I never
I've
played
seen her name
Toho.
thrown around a
so-
lot as a smash. Yeah, I don't either, but I know that people.
I always thought that was all
Toho
fan made
fans
stuff. I
really
didn't
like it.
realize that was legit.
It was created by someone specifically, and kind of fans have had free license to do what they want with it,
Oh, okay.
which is a cool
All right.
thing to do.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
It seems like kind of a Miku type situation, right? I'm not super up on Toho, but it does seem similar to the Vocaloid aspect of fans having basically free reign to create original content using the Vocaloid characters. But I'm sure Toho fans out there can tell me if I'm wrong about that.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, let's go ahead and jump into our news topics. And our first story today, we need to get into the why of Sonic.
It's a complex issue.
Yeah, it is a very complex issue. In this case, it's the why Sonic Colors was chosen for the remaster in this case. This comes from a Spanish interview and was translated by Abel Linkabel, otherwise known as Abel Munez Jr. on Twitter. And basically, in the most succinct manner, it was chosen because new and younger fans have been increasing since Mania, Forces, and Team Sonic Racing, and especially since the big success of the movie, which is why the movie bonuses are in the game. They feel like Colors is the ideal Sonic game to start with for new fans, and the game sold well and was a success already on the Wii and DS, but it's not available on current consoles. And then the new features were added to help beginners play the game, which they believe they're referring to the fact like the Tails Rescue option. Now. So yeah, that's I mean, it all makes sense. It's not like it's major breaking news or anything like that, but it's kind of interesting to see a bit more thought into why they chose Colors.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it doesn't matter what I think about, Sega's decision because I'm not getting paid to make them, but I do kind of take issue with the idea that Sonic Colors is the best game to start with for new fans. And I like Sonic Colors. I'm not talking shit about it. It's a great game. What about Sonic Colors specifically? Yeah, like why Colors specifically? What makes it better than Generations, for example, to start, with it as a new Sonic fan? I guess it's not predicated on previous levels or knowledge of previous games, although you don't really have to have that to enjoy Generations either. So I'm just kind of wondering why Colors is ideal, but it's still a great game. So whatever.
Colors also, Colors also keeps it simple. It's Sonic, Eggman, and Tails. That's
true. No Knuckles,
and with Generations, you have all the other characters that have popped in over time. And Colors is also mostly 2D. It's not a hard game. It's a pretty quick thing. And as I said, I do buy the whole thing. It's never been outside of the Wii and DS. Having it on more consoles is something people have wanted for quite a while. So it's fulfilling that aspect. How do you feel about Sonic?
I love Sonic. I don't think I've ever played any of the 3D ones, though, except for the All-Stars Racing Transformed, which is
You're
great.
in luck. Colors is mostly 2D.
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah. But I mean, I grew up playing, because I only had a Genesis, so I played a lot of Sonic. And then Mania was really, really good. But I should probably check out Colors, I guess, and Generations and all these other... Which one's the one that everyone thinks is really, really terrible?
Sonic 06.
Sonic 06 and Shadow the Hedgehog to a slightly lesser degree.
Shadow has its fans to a degree.
But Sonic 06 is the one that,
Sonic 06
and with the whale or the dolphin or whatever.
That's it.
Adventure.
That's Adventure.
Oh, no, 06 also has the whale.
Oh, there's so many Sonics.
Yeah.
The whale became kind of a recurring character somehow.
Okay.
I
love that.
Adventures, you should go back and check out Adventure because even though it hasn't aged well gameplay-wise, it definitely shows its age and it's quite glitchy and everything. It's still very much of its era and charming as all hell. And I don't know, it's very much a product of its era, Dreamcast launch game, cutscenes that take themselves way too seriously, but in a really fun way. Honestly, I would go back to at least Adventure and check it out. But
that sounds like solid Dreamcast vibes,
Yeah, definitely. But Colors is great. You should check that out. As Derek said, it is mostly 2D. And personally, the one I would recommend to check out is Sonic Generations. That's half 3D, half 2D. But Generations is just a great game across the board. Great.
Yeah.
Sweet. I got my work cut out.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, I got my work cut out for me.
Yeah. There's
so many Sonic games.
I would say all Colors makes sense to me because it is probably one of the best 3D Sonic games. And it's a good example of how modern Sonic can be in a game that's fun, which sounds overly cynical, but he's got a really spotty track record at this point.
It does, but it's also just fun. Like the lines from Eggman as you're going through levels and for the whole Interstellar amusement park are some of the funniest lines he's ever had. And they keep it kind of simple. It's again, it's a pared down thing. It has a really funny script, and it's just, I don't know. It felt like them testing the waters on what they wanted to do with this new boost gameplay. It's like, all right, people like the boost gameplay of Unleashed, and we want to make a whole game out of that, but it's going to be only on the Wii, and it was gorgeous on the Wii. So I think it's
a great looking Wii game.
Like I think that's good. So we'll
BJ Bovia in the YouTube chat says, "I feel sorry for any kid who got in with Forces." Yeah, don't bother with Sonic Forces. That's for hardcore fans only because it's not a very good game. It's just, yeah.
They need to get a more recent game in there.
Average. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I am not sure how to transfer over to this one, but let's say, don't steal, kids. That's our lesson for today. That's no good.
Nice.
So an artist is suing Capcom over stolen art that was discovered in Resident Evil 4 as well as Devil May Cry games. And it is not looking good for Capcom, looking at the evidence they present. Designer Judy A. Jurasek filed her initial complaint in a Connecticut court on Friday, and in it, she alleged that Capcom used photos from her copyrighted book, Surfaces, in multiple games, including Resident Evil 4, Devil May Cry, and other Capcom games. And it's a collection of 1,200 photographs of textures that she photographed herself. The book is intended to be used for visual research for artists, architects, and designers, and was originally published back in 1996. It also came with a collection of CD-ROM of the images, but she also says she requires people to license those images from her for commercial use by contacting her directly. And Capcom never contacted them. And the background of the Resident Evil 4 logo, I don't know if you have it up there, Steve, but it is exact. It is exact.
I don't have it up there, but I have a theory on what happened here. I'm not going to go full Matt Pat on you. It's not about Mario being a murderer or something like that. But I am going to bet that what comes out is that Capcom has some type of agreement with some third party that provides them with assets that they can use for textures in games, and that party has either inappropriately licensed or the artist is not aware that they have licensed this content. And so there's going to be some intermediary we're not aware of yet. And they're going to say, oh, well, we licensed it from these people, and your dispute then should be with them, because I just find it really hard to believe. If it was one game, it would be very plausible to me, but the artist alleges and seems to have some pretty convincing proof that their assets are used in multiple Capcom games spanning a number of years. And I just find it really hard to believe that someone's like, all right, get that person's book again, and we're going to steal some pictures from it.
Right.
Over that protracted of a period of time, I figure it's that they have some kind of relationship with some middleware or third-party provider that gives them access to stuff like this, and they just, by happenstance have chosen this artist's work multiple times, probably because it's excellent work. But
right. It could also...
Yeah.
It could also just be a simple case of ignorance here. The article, the Polygon article, also talks about how Jurasek said she requires people to license images from her for commercial use by contacting her directly. And it is possible that the folks at Capcom, responsible for sourcing this book, just didn't realize that, or didn't just miss the memo on that. I would like to believe that it wasn't on purpose, and I don't believe that it was malicious. I don't think so. And it's possible they just didn't know, but at the same time, that seems like common sense. So
I have
it's
issues
hard to say
with the ignorance plea on, because it's not like it's one person at Capcom that makes these decisions, and Capcom is a hugely successful corporation. And so they know that when they use another artist's work in one of their products, that they have to work with that artist and license the work. Like, Capcom is very well aware that that's just how things work. They're very well aware that they have to, if they want fucking T. Lopes to make a song, they know that they have to go to T and get, his they have to license the music. It's just, and Capcom companies like Capcom have teams of lawyers that this is their whole job to make sure that they don't get sued later down the road.
Well, and textures are such a murky, like, thing, because doing graphic design, I'm sure you guys know, like, there are so many times where you just need some kind of texture to, like, funk up a logo or something, and, like, you go to Pexels or something and Google, or you Google, like, free texture, and you just kind of, like, grab something and throw it on there, and you, like, cursorily look to make sure that it's free for public and commercial use, you know? And, like, a lot of those websites lie, I think. And, like, so I think, Steve, I think your theory about, like, a third party is probably a good one. The weird thing, the sticking point for me is that the CD came out in 1996. So that to me means that probably so many sites and services have disseminated the textures from that CD-ROM so long ago that a lot of people just put these textures all over, and, like, nobody knew where they were coming from. Maybe, like, but I mean, either way, if Capcom's a big dog, so, like, they're gonna have to pay this artist, probably. Right.
You know, it's really
it's being mentioned in the patron chat, but it was also in this Polygon article. Thanks to the Capcom's data breach, the whole ransomware thing, even some high resolution images of the artwork used in the games came to the surface, and the file names for at least one of the images from that Capcom hacked files is the same file name as those used in the Surface's CD-ROM. The metal texture that was labeled ME009. So
that's just damning, and like, I mean, that's the kicker for me. Like, the kicker for me is, and I'm glad this came to the surface, because, you know, this artist deserves to have her payday, you know, assuming she's in the right, and the evidence certainly points in that direction. I just can't, but, you know, the kicker for me is that this at least partially surfaced because of the Giga Leak, and so, God, talk about that Giga Leak screwing Capcom over in more ways than the obvious way.
Just again and again.
Like, jeez, man.
The more I think about it, though, I think what Isla was saying earlier was right. 1996, the internet was the Wild West. I mean, people just uploaded whatever, to AOL. Just remember AOL? And so, there's probably a very real possibility that those files in 1996 were ripped from that CD, uploaded to the internet, and over the ensuing decades, people just forgot where the hell they came from, and they got shared and re-uploaded so many times that Capcom possibly didn't know, that they originated from a book. They might have, like Isla said, done a quick Google for a texture, and it's being, presented as, oh, this is free for use because no one remembers where it came from in the first place anyway. And this artist just happened to realize all this. But I agree the artist should have a payday coming from someone.
Right. I'm trying to think through, like, let's say this goes to court or mediation or whatever. And, like, I'm trying to think through the process of Capcom's lawyers trying to explain that and being like, yeah, we just grabbed it off the internet. It's not our fault, or whatever. And then she's like, she would have free reign to just be like, well, it's mine. Like, pay me now. Quick aside too about the Wild West era of the internet. One of my favorite songs of that era was called "Kick-Ass Violin Solo," and it was circling around on Kazaa or LimeWire or something, but it was credited to Aphex Twin. But I found out 20 years later that it wasn't Aphex Twin. I don't remember who it was, but it's good. Look it up.
I think I remember that. I remember that title.
It's a good song.
I can't even think of it. Yeah, it is.
There was similarly a Zelda song that was popularly credited to System of a Down, and it totally just was not them.
I mean, every single music parody was credited to Weird Al Yankovic.
For sure.
I remember there being one no, I'm not even gonna say it. It's just like way out of his wheelhouse, and not as a Weird Al makes sure not to insult anybody, and this parody did not do that.
He always punches up for sure.
Yeah.
You know what kind of adds an interesting angle or wrinkle to this story, though, and this is something else is also mentioned in the Polygon article.
Calling. I'll be right back.
Go for it. Yeah.
Go for it.
This was mentioned in the Polygon article and pointed out by a few people in chat, but Capcom was also accused recently again of copying a Dutch filmmaker named Richard Rophorst with a monster design in Resident Evil Village. This just happened. And
Wow.
Rophorst found out about the allegedly stolen design after fans contacted him about one of the characters from his film Frankenstein's Army being the basis for Village's propeller-headed bad guy, Sturm. And I remember when this came out a couple of weeks ago, and I looked, and I mean, the resemblance is obvious. And of course, I'm not going to go so far as to accuse Capcom of doing that, but it sure looks pretty damning. And it's weird that those two things, this and that, are happening so close together.
Well,
and it doesn't paint a pretty picture necessarily.
I mean, a lot of these folks, you know, I mean, well, everything we do is informed by the things we see and experience in our lives, right? And it's very probable even that the folks that are working on games like Resident Evil are going to watch a bunch of horror films, you know?
Right.
And so they might, you know, see that and go, yeah, something similar would be good, and make their own take on it or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely their own take, because it's the core idea is there. And I gotta say, that was one of the more original fights in that that I saw in that game. Pretty great too. It also had the extra detail that because of the propeller spinning and it being kind of an idiot, it chopped its own arms off. So, and that thing clearly has arms. So.
Now I know what we're talking about. Yeah, that was pretty 1-to-1, those monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Resident Evil Village thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just kind of weird. But, you know, it's true that obviously, yeah, people who make the RE games would naturally be watching a lot of horror films. Maybe there is just a you know, subconscious inspiration there. But it does look really similar, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt that.
Though.
Yeah. Doesn't help that, you know, that whole section was kind of Frankenstein inspired with all the enemy designs. So,
right.
Oh well, it happens. It's a very weird situation. I have a feeling this woman's going to get her. I believe it's 12 million she sued for.
12 or 20, something.
Let me see here. Yeah, 12 million in damages. For and it's 2,500 to 25,000 for each used photograph. So,
jeez, that's surprisingly modest. Given
that is pretty modest.
Hey, I want $12 million. Don't get me wrong, but that's still surprisingly modest for the scope of what we're talking about here. So, yeah. So I mean, Capcom might secretly be happy about that, because it does seem like they're going to have to pay up here. Juan makes a great point in our live audience chat, though. But you know what Capcom series never steals art from anybody? Mega Man. There you have it, folks. Mega Man, better than Resident Evil, confirmed. Now, I had to say that. Thank you for that one.
Of course you did. But before we move on, we have Claxon with a $9.99 donation. Says, first super chat. Thank you so much for that. Says, I really love all you people do. My 25th birthday is in 3 days, so hopefully I'll be able to get the games I want that are shown off at E3. Sharing the love first, though. Keep it up. Well, thank you so much, and happy future birthday.
Yeah.
And happy future birthday. Thank you very much.
Enjoy E3, whatever that is.
Yeah.
When I'm looking forward to that story, but before we get there, we got to follow up on a story that we talked about previously. And Yuji Naka has spoken and confirms that he has left Square Enix. Not that surprising, it seemed pretty definitive based on everything we talked about before. But the kind of addition to this is that he's talking about retirement being one of his options now that he's out of Square Enix, since he is 55 years old. So, I mean, good on him. If you retire at that age, because that feels young, but we're overworked Americans, so I don't know if that is young or not.
But like, this story it can't help but feel sad about this, though, right? Because you want these like old names to go down, like to end on a high note, right?
Right.
And, like, Balan Wonderworld ain't it? Like, not a high note.
There's one more.
Like do something. Yeah.
It's. I mean, obviously, I want him to. You know, if he's ready to retire and he's okay walking off into the sunset with Balan Wonderworld being his final game, hey, that's not for me to decide. If he's happy with that, cool. But I do wish he could do something. I would hate for that to be the stamp on his career. That said, regardless of Balan Wonderworld, I'm always going to respect the guy for everything else he brought us. Balan Wonderworld doesn't suddenly undermine everything else he's done for me. It just is unfortunately a stain on his career, but it doesn't undermine everything else that came before it.
So I have a couple of takes on this whole thing. One, it is really sad to see Yuji Naka, of all people, go out on Balan Wonderworld as a last note. That's just kind of sad. But two, I don't know how I went my whole life thinking this man was far older than 55. I am 38, which means the first game of his that I remember playing, the original Phantasy Star, where he was the lead programmer, he made that. That makes him about 17 years older than me. That means he made it when he was in his very early 20s. And that is one of the best RPGs I've played in my entire life. The man is a genius, but you know, it does feel very melancholy to be discussing his retirement after a game like this. It's very, you know, I think that the writing is kind of, or it's easy to read between the lines on this one.
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted necessarily to leave Square Enix, but I think after Balan,
this is a retirement.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they formed,
sadder.
You know, Balan Company. Like they very clearly thought that there was going to be some measure of success to this game, and that this would be like rebooting Sonic Team, but within Square Enix or something. And it wasn't that, and that's unfortunate. I'm not sure. You know, I feel like Yuji Naka's best days were probably during the Dreamcast era, where Sonic Team was kind of getting their hands into all kinds of different things. They made PSO, they made Choo Choo Rocket, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. You know, not all of those have aged well, but for their time, they were utterly fantastic, wondrous games. And
did they do Knights also?
I was going to say Knights, which is still one of my favorite games of all time. So no matter what, even if this is how he retires, we'll always have Knights, and I'll always respect the hell out of that man for leading development on Knights.
I do wonder, like, because, you know, like, SEGA and stuff, like, have done Kickstarters to great success, but I wonder if, like, how tarnished the reputation has been if he tried to, like, spearhead a Kickstarter. Like, I wonder how that would go. You know what I mean? From his retirement.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It really is a good question. I feel like Yuji Naka would have two things against him in there, and one is Balan Wonderworld, unfortunately.
Right.
I mean, with the backing of a huge corporate, you know, AAA publisher, he wasn't able to make a game that probably lived up to people's hopes and expectations. But the other is just people kind of turning against the notion of Kickstarters in and of themselves. You know, there's Mighty Number 9. You know, for some folks, Shenmue 3, stuff like that is really
well, though.
Yeah, it's burned people, and I'll be the first to admit that I kind of, when I see a Kickstarter, I'm very hesitant to back it, just because I'm like, well, I mean, the game will come out in 2 to 3 years, maybe, if I'm lucky.
Yeah,
if not more. I'm very excited for the Suikoden one, though. What's that called?
Oh, the Eiyuden Chronicles?
Eiyuden Chronicles, yeah.
I missed that backing, but I'll definitely take a look at it.
I love Suikoden so much.
I've not played what is it? Suikoden.
Suikoden,
yeah.
They're all 1 and 2 are so good. 3's all right.
That's what I've heard. I've heard 1 and 2, especially 2 are
1 and 2.
I haven't played them.
2 is everyone's favorite, but I think if you play 1 and then 2, you get like kind of the whole experience.
Gotcha.
I have both 1 and 2. I kind of didn't even realize it had a 3 and 4.
Oh, there's a 3, a 4, a Tactics, and a 5. I think.
Oh my.
I think that's when they stopped.
Yeah, I think 5 is the latest numbered entry.
Yeah.
I guess this could also depend on what Yuji Naka would theoretically want to kickstart. If he's kickstarting something quirky, people might be willing to overlook Balan. But, you know, if he was like, oh, I'm going to kickstart a 3D platformer, I don't think that would go very well.
Yeah.
I think his days making 3D platformers are over, for sure.
I took a look at his credits list to see his roles, and he only directed 2 games. First of which was Balan Wonderworld. The second of which was Balan Wonderworld. The first of which was Choo Choo Rocket. Everything else, he was either a programmer or a producer.
Right.
And I think
Which
that's
is key. Yeah.
I think that's his big thing. He either needs something where he's more of a programmer or a producer, maybe both, and maybe not so much direct the games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the live audience is pointing out that Shovel Knight, Bloodstained, and Undertale were all really good Kickstarter games.
Yeah.
I think that just shows how
Shovel Knight's a great example as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that just shows how devastating Mighty Number 9 was. Just
right, exactly.
killed all
It was
phase.
it was such an overarching. Yeah. This is kind of cool. I didn't realize, and this doesn't have anything to do with the balance situation, but I didn't know that Yuji Naka produced the Street Pass fishing and chef games. Ultimate Angler and Feed Me. I was a huge Street Pass nerd buff back in the 3DS
So are the
days.
other guys, the other easy allies. Like, oh man,
I love
they all loved
Street
it.
Pass, and I loved those two games as well. So that was cool. That I just didn't know he produced those. That's neat.
Cool.
Huh. I had no idea that I'm falling into a rabbit hole here because I saw somebody in the live chat saying, Naka didn't direct Nights into Dreams. No, that was Naoto Oshima, who was the character designer of Balan Wonderworld, but also the director of the Blinks the Time Sweeper games on Xbox, which I didn't realize. It's like, geez, small world. Okay.
Yeah.
He also directed Sonic CD, so there you go.
Yeah, I've said it before, but I feel like Yuji Naka, brilliant programmer. I hate to throw it back to Phantasy Star again, but the stuff he did on the Sega Master System was years ahead of its time.
Would you say he's comparable to Iwata in that, and just in the programming sense?
I mean,
I
to
think
be
he
fair,
was in his own.
Yeah, I mean, Yuji Naka is first off, if you're programming video games for a living, you're a brilliant programmer. A lot of folks never break into programming professionally and to program something on like a console is infinitely harder than a PC because PCs are open and you have tons of like message boards and stuff you can go to. With a console, you're working with whatever the hell Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft give you, and just until the game comes out, and then 2 years after. But I would say that Iwata was kind of like he among programmers, among this field of immensely talented programmers, had a reputation for being so much better than they were at their chosen profession that he could come in, swoop in, and like save games that people couldn't figure out. He could write compression algorithms that were insanely more efficient than what other people in the field working at the highest levels were already doing. So while I do think that Yuji Naka is incredibly talented and probably does stand like a cut above your average programmer even within the games industry, which is something I'm hesitant to say because, like I said, I think everybody programming games for a living is incredibly talented in a way that I am not, nor am I qualified to judge that talent. I do think that Yuji Naka, through his own work, has shown that he is incredibly capable, and I would love to see him kind of, still be involved with games, at least in that capacity. I don't think, all of my favorite Yuji Naka games are not Yuji Naka directed games. They're stuff he worked on in some capacity, but I feel like, and I said this previously, I think he's better when he's part of a team and maybe not the leader of the entire team.
Well, that's what's so weird to me about Balan Wonderworld is like one of the things about a really, really good programmer, especially with 2D or 3D platformer games, that is really, really hard to nail, is just like that feel, like the game feel and like the input responsiveness of the character and stuff, which obviously like Mario, Sonic, like Samurai Gun I think is one of my favorites. Like I think that Bo did an amazing job on that, but like Balan Wonderworld is so floaty and weird. Like it's just how could this guy get that wrong, right? Even if you wasn't programming on it, like how could he play his own game and be like, yo, this is fine? Like, because he's like one of the legends of like making that happen right. Like, I don't get it.
Right. Well, and especially like the whole demo situation. How did every person in that process who had to approve the release of that demo? How did every single one of them go, "Oh, this feels fine. This feels good." Yeah, totally.
This won't backfire on us hardcore.
Yeah, I just don't get that. And as I said, we mentioned this previously or discussed this on a previous episode as well. But like, it's a shame because as bad as the gameplay is, there are aesthetic reasons to love, or there are aesthetic things to love about Balan Wonderworld. Some of the world designs, like the aesthetic ideas, are gorgeous. The soundtrack's great. It's not like the whole thing is a dumpster fire. It's the gameplay is so bad relative to the rest of the game, and it's such a shame.
Which makes me honestly feel like there had to have been like budgetary or like studio concerns where they were just like, someone in the live audience said it too. Like, this is beyond saving. Like, just put it out, and like they're gonna quietly ask him to retire afterwards. You know, and it's just like, obviously that's speculative, but like, man,
Yeah.
they just had to put it out. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, no more bashing on Balan because we've done that plenty.
Poor Balan, dude. It feels bad. That original trailer looked so cool. The first trailer, I was like, all right.
Before we move on,
listen to it. Sorry, go ahead.
Before we move on, Mega Conrad with a $4.99 donation saying, I'm finally in a position to move myself into the EP tier. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work, guys.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
Thank you so much. And related to that, they already have done so. Their name is in the credits. You'll see yourself at the bottom of the roll tonight.
And then Red Chaos 173 with a $2 donation says, "Hey Derek, will I replay all the Castlevania games?" Nope. I will replay a few of them, but I'm not doing all of them again. I've done it once. Don't need to do it a second time. I was a year and a half.
Played through all of them.
I streamed myself playing through every single English released Castlevania game.
Even Judgment.
Yep.
Wow. I don't know what counts as a playthrough of that, but geez, I've never.
I played that. Basically, was me playing through everybody's story mode. Basically twice in order to get the true ending, I guess.
Oh boy.
So
good job.
Thanks. I will still stand by the fact that Castlevania on the first Castlevania game on Game Boy, I'm blanking on its name now, is the worst Castlevania.
Game Boy OG or Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, Game Boy OG. The Castlevania The Adventure. Thank you, 112.
Oh yeah.
That is.
I never played that one, but I've heard. Bad things.
Well, it's part of the 8-pack, but it is not good. Castlevania 2: Belmont's Revenge on Game Boy, really good, like surprisingly good. Like I really recommend that one as a sort of like, you wouldn't expect it, but it is a lot of fun.
Cool.
Anyway, though, let's go ahead and move on to our next story. Speaking of messes in the vein of adventure. So, the ESA, working on E3. We're getting our all-digital E3 with our media portal, and it is a complete and utter mess. I did not even bother signing up, and this all comes courtesy of Matt Brown over on Twitter, who has been cataloging this. So, just basically how he had to reset his password right away,
That's how you have to make a password.
You have to reset your password in order to make a password?
Yes, we got into it.
God.
So I did that part of the process. Thankfully, I didn't put any personal information on it, but learned my lesson. But yeah, to sign up and get your account going, you have to log in and then say, forgot my password, and then you have to make a password, but the password has to be fewer than 12 characters. It's like, ESA, what are you doing?
This is interesting. I mean, the ESA is a mess. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But that specific part, they may have fixed since, because I just logged into my own E3 media portal, and I did not need to do that.
Oh, really?
So
okay.
They may have actually fixed at least that, but
awesome.
The portal is still a mess. And I'm looking at this dumb avatar thing, this avatar creator thing, and like,
you gotta create an avatar, which had an error loading JSON graphic data. Then when he tried to make it, it ended up being bold, becomes some sort of glitch from the app.
And like, it's recommending people for me to follow, as we know from the story. I'm not doing anything. I skipped all profile settings. I'm not entering shit because I did get doxxed last time with you guys.
Oh yeah.
They're trying to like advertise Norton 360 for gamers.
Oh, that is here. I see that here. Yeah, that is right here. Yep.
Again, here's the big thing that I know would give Ash palpitations. E3's media portal comes with a weird friend-finding social features to search all registrants. So he was able to instantly found a personal details for an individual visible to all E3 registrants. Contact an individual, and they since removed the info. So yeah, you put any info in this thing, it's going to be out there for everybody. Granted, this is only for media, but who knows how hard it is to become media in this one.
For now,
well, no, but it's public on the 10th, I think. It goes public on the 10th or 12th.
Oh, does it? Oh, God.
And I assume that, just because it's the ESA, I assume that the press registrants information will just be in the same bucket as
probably
everyone else. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I
an
think I
absolute
find
mess.
very bizarre. So I signed up, I got registered, and I mean, we covered the registration process, which was really weird in and of itself. Like, hey,
It
send us a
really
business
was.
card. Hey, it's 2021. I literally, and I told Ash this, I sent in screenshots of our Twitter. I was like, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sending you a business card that I don't have.
Right.
So they
And
asked
they
for
were
a
like,
business
send
card
something
to
on your
feel for.
letterhead. And I was like, well, then you can have my Twitter. That's fine. So I literally just sent screenshots from Twitter, and they approved it. But I logged in, and I was like, okay, the point of E3 is really, the booths or what have you, and they have this virtual booth thing. There's nothing going on in any of those. 90% of them don't tell you what they're there for. I'm not sure what Media Week is.
Yeah.
So
Like,
far, nothing.
I've heard
because
from
we're already
no one.
Right.
I have, and I get it. Giving the ESA the benefit of the doubt, GVG is small and new, both things that don't cater to getting good meetings at E3. However, I've got friends that work at IGN, GameSpot. I'm close personal friends with Imran from Fanbyte, Kat Bailey from IGN. Like, I don't know anybody, like, of the folks that I know that work at the larger outlets, I know of maybe one or two folks that have meetings, like
Well, but
meeting
that's
here
the-
or there.
That's the weird thing is like, you never got your meetings through the ESA or through E3 itself. You get them through the companies and the PR places,
Exactly.
and then you meet them at E3. You shoot an interview, you play the game at E3. E3 has never, in my experience at least, Blood usually handles this, so maybe sometimes he got them straight from the ESA, but I'm pretty sure not.
Yeah.
Like, E3 is just the building wherein you meet. They've never been.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
But
so it's like, they're trying to do that with this phone app or this website, but it's just like, we have email addresses. Like, I've got demos of stuff from E3 that like we just got from the developer. It's just like,
Yeah.
why is this? Why
Yeah.
bother? Why waste your money, ESA?
Yeah.
It seems like the ESA is trying to insert themselves as like
Right.
a middleman type situation where not only are they not needed, they're not wanted, and they're only spending their own money to do it. It really, this whole thing has been such a scattershot, weird approach. I mean, we're a few days out from E3 now, and we're looking at our media portals, and we're like, what the fuck is all this even for? And on top of that, it's gamified.
Right.
Why am I earning badges in the E3 media portal backend? This is it's so dumb. Like, what is even going on here, ESA?
It is. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Isla.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, it's so weird because what the ESA is they're an event planner. Like, just be that. And since it's COVID, just don't be that right now. And then next year, just be that again. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Why are they trying to overthink it? And I mean, it's because they're terrified of becoming irrelevant.
Right.
Which,
But,
honestly, I think they're just digging themselves like
Right, deeper
into
and
that
deeper.
grave faster.
It's wild.
This is like
Seems like it.
they got a year off thanks to COVID, and then we could get angry at them because, like, all right, well, nothing's happening, so that's just how it is. But if you discount last year, then basically 2 years in a row that they were active, they massively pissed off the people that go to this show, that make this show what it is, like, to do that. Because, what media, like, I know every media person out there who got doxxed is like, I don't know if I want to, like, I don't think anybody trusts the ESA anymore. There is no
No.
trust there.
We got like part of the way into the process of registering and then just like emailed someone and we were like, hey, this doesn't make sense. Like, we don't fit these boxes. What do we do? And they were actually they helped us out, but it was just like the process didn't even make sense for like what we are,
Yep.
So it was
Right.
just so strange. I'm just like, what are you trying to be, ESA? Like, why? I don't know.
This
Yeah,
this whole thing is
yeah.
so strange.
It's oddly inconsistent with how they've done things in the past too. Like just the registration portion of it. Like I mean, I could be misremembering, but I feel like in 2019 there was not a influencer / creator badge. It was just media. And PAX differentiates between the two, but E3 I don't think ever truly did.
They've been kind of slowly shifting it the last like 3 or 4 years, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird kind of thing. I mean, I was just like, well, I covered it as media for the last 7 years, so I'm just going to do
Right.
that again.
Right. That's what we've
Yeah.
always done is like press / media.
Same.
Like, yeah. Nintendo loves to think of us as influencers, but that's a different story.
Yeah,
That
that's a tough
is
label.
such a weird like when you're in the YouTube/video space, every publisher views you differently. Like and they all have different shifting requirements for how you have to, like, I know that we famously were told by one publisher, who I will not name here, that they wanted us to mark our reviews as sponsored content because they gave us a copy of the game. And I was like,
People have tried that with us before too.
Yeah, I
We're
was like, I'll just not review your game. Like,
Right.
That's what you're going to end up with.
Yeah.
But either way, I think Matt Brown actually does kind of wrap this up in the best way possible. The ESA fought to justify E3's existence in 2021, already in question pre-pandemic, attempting to adapt to a virtual environment. But the result is an embarrassment. What does E3 now contribute to as a virtual trade show beyond brand prestige? Even that only goes so far, and that's the thing. I think all this might do is just show publishers like, we don't need E3.
Right.
Oh, exactly, and I think E3 I think ESA knows that. I think ESA is becoming wise to the fact that more and more people are realizing E3 isn't needed. Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony sure don't need it. Sony is especially proving it by not even bothering to be part of it, which and they don't need to be. None of them. But as Steve has also said, and I agree with him in previous discussions about E3's growing irrelevance, it is important though for smaller developers, for indie developers, to be able to get their games in front of lots of people.
But this media portal isn't doing anything for them.
This isn't
not
it.
At all.
Exactly. This ain't
well,
it.
That's I mean, exactly, perfect point, Ash. Like that's what I was gonna say is like the best part of E3 are just those meetings and like those chance things that you stumble upon that you wouldn't otherwise have let in the door, right? Like I've seen so many things at E3 wandering the floor that I like fell in love with. That if I'd seen the email, because we get like, I'm sure you guys too, we get hundreds of press emails like a week, and most of them, Bloodworth, like, he reads them all, but he'll send through the ones, he's kind of the gatekeeper on that, and like he'll send through the ones that he thinks are relevant to each of us, and like it's much less than we get, and sometimes if you just get your eyes on something, it is a match made in heaven, whereas like, on a bizarre app, it's just not going to happen. Like, I don't know.
I considered it for a story for this video for this episode, but there was a video put out by Devolver Digital for something called Terra Nil, which is basically, I caught my interest immediately because it's all about like this ruined world that you try to get back and make green again, and then beyond even that step, once you get them green, leave and like completely get rid of any evidence of humans ever being there, no human footprint, and it's gorgeous seeing the green come back and it growing again. It's like that's type of game. I'm not interested in that genre, but seeing it in motion, it's like I find that really fascinating and maybe something I want to take a look at. Which really to me is I looked at the developer, and it's the same people who did Genital Jousting. I'm like, really?
Gotta flex.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
It's like that is a lot of
expected that.
Yeah,
well,
it's a lot of different talents, I suppose.
I mean, an Uncity Builder or whatever they call it. Like, that one piqued my
interest that one
immediately.
That's kind of how I feel whenever I remind myself that the same people who make Horizon also make Killzone. It's like they're so completely divergent in terms of tone and even genre. Of course, I'm just like, oh wow, those are the same people. That's so weird.
My favorite example of that is Crow Team or whatever, who makes Serious Sam and the Talos Principle.
Whoa! I didn't know that.
Jeez.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wild.
I think it's Crow Team, right?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
So,
yeah. But like, speaking of Devolver, they published that. But yeah, it's just like, because I love the Talos Principle and Serious Sam. I've always been like, yeah, all right. But it's like same people. Like
true. Yeah. Well, let's continue this whole strange games that we might not have seen otherwise. I don't even know how to go into this one. Have you guys seen Palworld? The trailer for Palworld.
Yes.
I'm looking at it right now.
So if you've never watched this trailer, if this is the first time you're seeing this trailer, basically it's an open world survival crafting game featuring monsters like Pokémon, But the thing that's really odd about it is that it also features gunplay.
Yeah.
And you can use the Pokemon as shields, as like they talk about those Pokemon wars. Yeah, this is pretty much it. It is wild.
The trailer was crazy. Go ahead, Ash.
No, I'm just watching the trailer for the first time right now, and I'm seeing Finnegan. I'm pretty sure I saw Piplup back there, or very clearly based on them. But there are guns too.
And then all of a sudden there are just guns.
You got that bear ripping people apart, and then you're just shooting at people. It's like, what is happening?
He just got shot like a bunch of times while crying. This is awful. This is horrible.
It's very strange. But it starts off just like such a Pokemon ripoff, and then all of a sudden they're just shooting people.
Now they're Pokemon ripoffs in like an assembly line, and they're slaving away. And there's now a Koopa shell. What? This is too much. I can't.
They're having the Pokemon work in like factories building guns. Like what the heck is happening?
I love FTN in our patron chat says 9mm. I choose you. Bang, bang, bang.
Well, and what's the company? It's like Pocket Pair.
Yeah, Pocket Bear Games.
What?
I can't think that means anything other than testicles, right? Like, what does a pocket pair?
Let's see here. Somebody said Fat Man in the YouTube chat said read the Steam page description. Oh. So about this game, what is this game about? Palworld is a game about living a slow life with mysterious creatures, pal, or throwing yourself into life and death battles with poachers. You can make pals fight, breed, help with farming, or work in factories. You can also sell them off or even slaughter them to eat. That, however, is forbidden by the law.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's okay then.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a picture of them just shooting a board Pokemon, essentially, and there you go.
This is such a weird game.
Some twisted shit, man.
I mean, this reminds me of like when I was a teenager, and I would always question like, why can't you just become a murderer in The Sims? You know, like just
I'm so glad you said in The Sims.
Yeah. You know, my high school counselor probably would have frowned upon it had I not added those two words at the end. But yeah, Palworld just seems like so unnecessarily dark.
I posted something in our green room for you guys. Pokemon Mystery Sweatshop. Somebody did a Photoshop of Pokemon Mystery Sweatshop, and it's that's pretty good. This is so messed up. I don't even right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, it's an effective trailer. I don't think I've seen a game like this get this much talk in a while.
Right.
Because it's just so out there. And the thing is, it's not like it's bloody or anything. It's just these this obvious Pokemon ripoff having these elements. And I think I feel like there's going to be a lot of people streaming this game when it comes out, just checking it out. It's like, what is happening?
I mean,
I think the air conditioner might be working.
To be fair, when I think about it, the world of Pokemon, I'm like, why don't they do stuff like that? Like, they are clearly extremely cruel to these animals already. I mean, they're like, we're going to trap you in a ball for most of your life and only let you out when it's time to fight.
Right. Well, I mean, the age-old Pokemon questions of, like, because sometimes you see, like, birds and, like, are there other animals? Like, what do people eat? Is everyone a vegetarian? Are Pokemon's vegetarian? Like, all these questions, you know.
112 in our live audience chat says, from the Steam page, quote unquote, endangered species pals live in the hunting prohibited area. If you sneak in and catch them, you'll get tons of money. It's only illegal if you get caught.
Wow.
I mean, I guess the tone they're going for.
This is wild. And I don't mean the wild Pokemon kind of wild. I just mean straight up wild. This is... I mean, like you said, it's an effective trailer. I'm not sure what it's effective at. I mean, it certainly doesn't make me want to go play the game, but it's certainly getting me to talk about it.
It makes me want to play the game. I'm not going to lie.
Do it.
I mean, I saw someone just fire a rocket launcher into a building in a town for no reason. I mean,
it is funny how...
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's funny how it being adjacent to Pokemon-esque stuff makes it feel so much more wrong, whereas, like... you know, Just Cause and Far Cry 6 and stuff, it's like, yeah, totally normal, fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
It's all good.
I think that's part of what makes it funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's that scene where they were shielding themselves from bullets with their Pokemon-like creature.
Or you fish with an electric
Part.
Pokemon and electrocute all the penguins.
Yeah.
And there you go. I think it does live on that sort of dark humor.
There's a
At least
shot
I think
in the
it's
trailer.
supposed to be dark. I don't
Yeah,
know if it's supposed to be dark humor, but
supposed to be humor, yeah. There's a
I
shot in
don't
the
know.
trailer where there's like one of the pals is like on the player's shoulders, and then they both whip guns out or something. And I was
There's
like,
that
all
too,
right, that's
yeah.
kind of funny.
Oh God, I don't even know what to think, but it's out there, and it's like this will make it fun to talk about. But let's go ahead and move on because I think we're already running a little late, and there's another bit of confusion to talk about with this next story. So, Square Enix has changed the titles and icons of the iOS versions of Final Fantasy 3 and 4, which has led to a lot of speculation. Before, it was all just, Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And now they're being labeled as FF3 3D and FF4 3D. So, it's leading a lot of people to wonder, what's this all about?
Yeah, it seems like a random just bit of rebranding, especially given the strange time period, right? We're in the week before E3.
Right.
So could this be signs of something in the works? I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to know what exactly, but yeah, like they suddenly now, and it's only 3 and 4 because they're the only games with 3D remakes on iOS or on, DS, whatever. But they have that black and then in bold impact font 3D remake suddenly. Like, why differentiate that suddenly if there's not a reason for it, if there's not something going on? It's interesting.
Oh, we're getting
Well, they-
2D remakes.
And that's what it
Right.
seems like. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to go out there and be like, oh yeah, let's put all the hype out there. We're
Hold
getting
on.
remakes, but
Hold
it
on.
doesn't look that way.
Hold on. How hyped are you for a 2D Final Fantasy remake on iOS? I'm not.
Right.
Like that is. The
I guess if
quintessential-
it is only iOS, but
Would it
hopefully
be
not.
iOS, though?
Right. I'm just saying, based on what we actually know, the observable facts that we have is that they
Right.
rebranded this as the 3D remake on iOS. And so, I mean, it would be a very Square Enix announcement. Like, hey, we're remaking Final Fantasy, the ones you love. But we're doing it only on iPhone and only with touch controls. And for $30.
Yeah.
Right.
That said, alternatively, I would not be upset about these 3D versions of 3 and 4 being ported to this other systems. That'd be nice
No.
because they originally came out on DS, then they were then made available on PSP, and they might be on Steam. I'm not sure, but having them on console would be
I
nice.
think they are. I
My
mean, it would
first-
just be nice to have any versions of 1 through 6 on consoles. Sorry, Isla.
Well, I was
Right.
just gonna say my first thought, which then I thought like, why would that make them label just 2 of these differently? But my first thought was a 1 through 6 collection,
Oh
like
God,
on
please!
Switch or something, like because that it just seems overdue. And like
It does,
people have
right?
been doing collections lately, so like I don't know. I think that could, but then again, I don't know why that would make them change the labels for just 3 and 4. Like why bother? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we can get a Mana collection on Switch, then
Right,
it's
right.
Sure, and a Saga collection. I mean,
Yeah,
Right.
Saga collection of all
Yeah,
things.
Saga Frontier is just like do Final
Right.
Fantasy.
yeah,
Put
like it just
Tactics
makes
on
sense
Switch,
to
you
do 1
cowards.
through 6.
Oh, my
man,
God. Tactics on Switch would
please.
make my life.
Tactics on Switch, I would buy like 5
get
times.
War of the Lions. That'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Chrono collection on Switch too. Just give me
Oh,
a Trigger and
for
Cross
sure.
double pack on Switch, please. Yes, and thank
Put
you.
everything on Switch.
Yeah, put it all on
Yeah.
Switch. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if
yeah.
they did like an Evilise collection with all the Tactics games and
Oh, that'd be
12
cool.
and
That'd be cool.
Vagrant Story re-release.
Yeah,
That'd
I
be
was gonna
cool.
say
Oh,
Vagrant Story, Xenogears,
Ooh.
Xeno everything.
Yeah.
But like for Xenogears, you'd have to like gussy up the back half, maybe. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, gussy it up a bit.
quite a bit of working.
Yeah.
But man,
But it sure does seem as though something is afoot behind the scenes, and
Yeah.
I just hope that the curious timing means we're going to find out exactly what is afoot at E3. That's my hope. This may just be coincidental timing, and we'll hear nothing at E3 about what this could possibly mean. But I hope it means something, and I hope we find out next week.
well,
Absolutely.
they said and other titles or whatever in their little teaser for the
They
Square
did.
Enix So
Right, they did.
Who knows? That could
Yeah.
be huge stuff, or it could be not huge stuff.
Yeah, we'll see what it is. I just appreciate that I got an email from them that they're going to have a version, a DMCA free version of their
presentation.
I never
It's really
trust
nice.
that. I just,
Well, that's
true.
true.
But at least they make it like it
Yeah.
seems separate in its own thing. Like they're saying they're getting rid of the whatever copyrighted music is in there. So
That's
hopefully,
good. I was actually pretty concerned about that. I'm like, are we gonna get our channel like stricken because of like a FIFA
no,
trailer?
they
Like,
always do the copyright claim instead. So they're like, oh, we don't want to get you in trouble. We just want any revenue you get.
Well, on Twitch though, things are so weird.
Oh, well, that's
Like,
true.
Oh, right.
Twitch
YouTube
is
is
different.
fine. YouTube is fine, but like if our Twitch was
yeah.
down, that would really suck.
Oh yeah, no,
Steve, I
we
think pretty much every time we've been told that like we were like a streaming partner or we can stream risk free. It's not actually been risk free, correct? Like we've gotten
right. I was going to
Yeah.
mention.
Well, this
I
seems
got-
like its own separate thing this time.
When you
Right.
can get hit for stuff like years ago, like some Star Wars thing from like 4 years ago, like sorry, buddy.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, no, we got we co-streamed the Game Awards and we did the whole thing. Like we signed up and went through the official process to be an official co-streamer. And we got all the assurances that we wouldn't get any copyright claims or strikes or anything. That was a lie. We definitely got hit with I think 6 for
Oh,
that
man.
one stream.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's
Thanks, Jeff Keighley.
Right.
He loves music. He loves music.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
he does. Yeah,
Yes.
he sent out another email looking for folks to co-stream the Summer Game Fest opening. I don't know. He's probably just going to hold up a Muppet in
Thursday,
one
right?
hand and like fire a revolver with the other and say summer has started now.
No, he has Jeff Goldblum. He'll do that.
Oh,
Jeff
that's-
Goldblum
Yeah,
will do
Jeff
that.
Goldblum would do
course.
that.
Jeff Goldblum will just sit seductively in the background praising Jeff the whole time.
You know, best
You're
show.
doing a great job.
Yeah, I would love that.
Best show.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't technically count as E3, maybe Elden Ring will still be there because even though they said they won't be at E3, I'm just being
Oh, there you
I'm just
go.
being
There we
a
go.
clown, a hopeful clown.
That'd be nice.
I'd like to see Elden Ring, like learn
You
something
think?
about it.
I'd love to see something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything.
We'll see, but yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next story, which is really just a kind of a cool thing. Like, you want an Easter egg?
Yeah,
Here
this
you go,
is neat.
Easter egg. So, the Tetris Effect's developer has revealed how to unlock a super secret level in the game. Technically, the 2 of them, but the one has been a bit more. Has been discovered more often. The Tetris 1989. All you need to do is raise your player level to 50 or do one other thing. But there is
All you need to do. I'm sorry, Derek. I just, as a Tetris Effect player myself, that's not that is.
I know it's not
time-consuming.
easy, but at least it's there. Like, it's obvious what you need to do. In order to get this second super secret level, what you have to do, it's called 1984, and it's a tribute to the original version of Tetris for the Electronica 60, the Soviet PC Alexei Pajitnov first created the game on. According to this, article, accessing the level on consoles requires the use of a USB keyboard because first, players must enter a code with your controller at the title screen. With the PlayStation controller, the code is up, up, down, down, left, right, OX. And then the same equivalent on Xbox. Then a blank screen should appear, at which points players need to enter in with a keyboard 06061984, which is the date of birth of Tetris, with their keyboard to unlock the level. So plug a USB
That's so
keyboard
cool.
into your PlayStation, and there you go.
That's neat.
If I
love
had
that.
one, I would do this.
Oh, Aldo says this is news because they did it 6 months ago. Apparently, it came out today on VGC, so I didn't know about it.
I didn't
Neither did I, and I've had the game that whole time. So
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had a USB keyboard, I would totally try this. I just wish there was a way to permanently unlock both of these that didn't require either having a USB keyboard or
You
playing
don't
the game
have a
for
keyboard?
hours and hours.
You don't have a
You gotta have
keyboard?
at least one USB. You can
got
get
a
a cheap
computer?
USB keyboard for $10.
he's
You got a
I'm-
laptop.
Oh,
So
right.
the keyboard's built in. That's
I
why.
thought it was so funny that you were like, if I had one,
No, you got like
the one in
external
that sentence
USB.
was not a PS5. It was a
No.
$7 USB keyboard.
And it's still, and many people pointing out, yes, that is the
Konami.
that
code.
is the Konami code.
Right,
Been
the
trying to
Konami
get this
code.
man to use a monitor, and now I know why he doesn't. He's like, well, I mean, the keyboard's right here. Ash.
I mean, thankfully, I
They're
do have a
$8
keyboard built into my computer. Well, yeah, but do I need to order one just to try this code? I guess maybe I do.
Yeah,
because
but you
this
could
is
also
amazing.
use the
Yeah.
monitor for like computing purposes, and then have a keyboard
right.
and one of these. It's called a mouse.
I've been using laptops since I was a kid. I actually prefer trackpads at this point.
I'm so
amazingly
old.
enough.
Laptops didn't
my
exist
God.
when I was a kid.
Well, to be fair, I say kid. I should say a teen. I've been using laptops since I was maybe 14, 13, and I'm just used to the trackpad experience now. I don't know. I can use mice, but
My first playthrough of Hotline Miami I did on a trackpad.
oh
Wow.
wow, I wouldn't want to play games on a trackpad.
I don't
that's for
recommend
sure.
that.
That I would
I was
not
about
do.
to say
See, that
that.
just reminds me of my old computer that my family had. That my family had, where we didn't have a mouse. I don't believe it was like an old, like I don't think we had a mouse or anything like
Was
that.
it the little
And I
nub?
played the original Tomb Raider with just keyboard controls.
Oh wow.
Oh man,
So-
my dad, because like we had one PC growing up, right? My dad was like the PC gamer in the house, and he had what I imagine was a pretty decent rig back in the day. But we had a Tomb Raider demo disc that, I don't know, came in like some PC magazine, and I played Tomb Raider the same way, like using WASD to move around and mouse clicks for shooting and stuff. Oh, what an awful way to play that game.
So
I would never
apparently you
eat
needed
that.
to, thanks to Odd Doodle in our patron chat, yeah, you really did need to do like just check out Tetris forums because they have a whole breakdown of how to unlock 1984 and 1989.
Oh cool.
Nice.
So
Oh, that's nice.
I'll do that tonight. I have the game on Series X, and I do own a keyboard. So
yeah, I own it on I
What's
own it
it
on
like?
PS4.
very
so.
clickety.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's very cheap. But Amy uses it for talking with
my-
her friends in Final Fantasy 14. So there
My
you go.
keyboard
nice.
is ridiculous.
I just have never. I've just
Oh,
like
whoa.
never needed an external keyboard. I don't know. I've just never. Needed
I had
one
to get it because
my
my
laptop.
my
love
external
this.
keyboard for my computer is just wireless, and I needed to be wired in, so I got a USB keyboard, cheap thing, so I could just get this whole thing started.
Right. Oh, I did have a
So-
Bluetooth external keyboard at one point for an iPad that I owned at one point. But
I
don't know.
I am obsessive
Laptop
about
life, guys.
keyboards.
I have
Sorry.
so many keyboards. I have the Corsair one on my main computer, but yeah, I've got like 3 of those old like keyboards. I'll just bring one here, and you can have it next time you come to our studio. How's that?
See, the thing is, though, I mean, I just don't see the need for one because I'm used to my keyboard, right?
You
My
have a
built-in.
full
my-
1984
monitor in front of
mode.
you.
That's what.
Right.
It's so much
1984
better than
mode.
what's on your
But I use
MacBook.
that for gaming. Like I use that for
It
recording
has
footage
3
and stuff.
inputs on it.
I know, but what do I need to use my? I don't know. I'm used to the laptop experience.
You
I don't know. It's
that
just-
webcam I sent you would fit really nicely on the top of that monitor.
I've tried to do that. I've tried to actually get it to stay there, and it's like it's not. It's,
God damn
I've been
it,
trying to do that from
Oh my gosh!
You Mac users.
laptop,
Please.
God.
laptop life, y'all. I'm just.
Yeah.
I guess so.
My laptop
Jeez.
has been like sitting on a stand for 2 years because of COVID.
So
I haven't had
funny.
to go anywhere, so it's just been it's a second desktop I use for making music. It's just another desktop.
I haven't owned
Yeah.
a desktop literally since I was probably like since the lime green. My parents had like a Apple Centris 6 something, and then we had a
God.
lime green iMac, one of the old school iMacs. But that's the last time we had a desktop.
My
we
God.
just all used laptops.
Do you not
I don't
edit
know.
video?
I feel like
No.
I have to read these.
Laptop.
Oh my god.
I feel like I have to read these super chats now because Rob Arman X with $10, buy a keyboard, you monster. BJ Bovey with $5, Ash, please buy a keyboard. Jason Ulo with $5, contributing to the Get Ash a USB keyboard fund.
I
Get an Insignia keyboard.
Thank you.
That $5 will get you an Insignia keyboard at Best Buy right now.
Right.
I
Right
will
now.
I will say I used to be like a dyed-in-the-wool Mac user. I worked at Apple.
too.
I
Me
do
too.
not know how you can be a content creator like in the gaming space and not have a desktop PC at all. It is so like you're taking your kneecaps out, man.
I mean, as I've mentioned, but like we've talked about this, the one issue is streaming. Everything else, I mean, all the videos I've ever made, I've made on my MacBook Pro without an external keyboard and on my trackpad.
I like how that's become part of it now, without an external
keyboard.
I'm just saying, I don't know. Literally don't see the need for that in my personal setup at present.
God.
I'm willing to
Follow your heart, man. I support it. It's crazy, but I support it.
It is absolutely crazy, but whatever works for you, man. But
I will say that I have been very tempted just to get a basic PC rig, though, for streaming, because streaming has been a problem on my machine, for sure.
I am telling you, the day that you plug an HDMI cable from that MacBook into that monitor, you will realize how much more space you have to work on those videos.
No, I've done that. No, don't get me wrong. I've connected my computer to the monitor. I just don't have an external keyboard to use with it. But I have done that, and it's been very nice.
Oh, see,
No, that I've done.
Baby steps. You just got to take that next baby step to having an external input method. And then it'll be like a desktop.
I can use it for Tetris. If nothing else, I can.
There you go.
That's the important.
That's really with a $4. I was live with a $4.99 donation. Again, can you guys set up a PO box already so we can send you gear, dear Lord?
Get a keyboard. Oh
I'm very happy with my MacBook Pro.
Flooded with keyboards. It goes from 0 to like 20.
I'm going to be in a sea of keyboards on Wednesday when you see me. I'm just going to be buried up to my neck in keyboards.
That's a great Twitter post. Surrounded by the keyboards.
Yeah.
There you go, like the girl from American Beauty. Instead of rose petals, it's just keyboards.
Or the Jared Leto Joker, but instead of all the knives, it's keyboards.
It's beautiful.
I love all the keyboard emoji in the chat too. It's too funny. You guys are too funny. Well, Matt, maybe I will get an external keyboard specifically for Tetris then, and I can use it for my computer as well. There you go.
And whenever you get back to Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Oh yeah, like that's ever going to happen.
Exactly, I know, right? Anyway, there's one last story here that's not quite as fun, unfortunately, but I don't think it's that bad. Let's go ahead and pull it up. So, the Prince of Persia remake will not be at Ubisoft Forward. It was delayed earlier this year, and we still have no idea when it's coming, so it must be getting a heck of a rework. They just posted out as like, we're making great progress in for our game to release next year, but we are not ready to share any additional information just yet. We'll share an update as soon as we are ready. Until then, we wanted to express our appreciation for your continuous support, as well as your patience with us on this journey. So... yeah, nothing at Ubisoft Forward, even though that was one of our... I brought it up because I think I did predict that it would be at the Ubisoft show.
Yeah.
I think you might have, yeah. No, I mean...
I was wrong.
We said from other, stories like this, like Axiom Verge 2, whatever, take the time you need, ideally, just get it right, and take the time you need to get it right, and hopefully without crunch, even though I know that latter part is too much to ask for. But it's always worth delaying it until it's gotten right. Let it bake for as long as it needs.
Or just do what Cyberpunk did and delay it until your stockholders make you put it out.
And there you go.
I don't think Ubisoft's monetary bottom line is as dependent on Prince of Persia as Cyberpunk was.
Sure, yeah. Not a make or break title probably for them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if they had more keyboards, they could get it out on time. Jesus Christ!
Probably they're programming a game on trackpads. It's impossible.
Yeah,
exactly. I know.
Laptops and trackpads.
We saw that Ash guy do it, and it just seemed like the thing to do, and like that was the mistake.
Yeah.
He seemed pretty cool.
I'm the reason it's delayed.
Yep, I blame you, Ash.
If I
apparently, though, is the primary developer. I'm seeing this in the chat. Not sure whether it's Imran or Muscles or both of them who said this.
Yeah, it was Matt.
Yeah, the primary developer is in India, and they were hit pretty hard from the pandemic. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'll do it. But it was looking rough, so give them the time, make it look good, because I love that game. So.
Yeah, I think it's important to give the developers the time they need to make the game, right? Make it the best possible game it can be. It definitely looked like it shouldn't have been announced the last time we saw it. It needed a lot of love before they put that trailer together. So fan backlash, I think, helped out in this case, because I honestly believe it would have shipped a lot sooner had fans not kind of erupted and said, like, hey, yo, polish this up. It doesn't look good. But I respect Ubisoft for giving the developers the time they need to make the game to a level, deserving of this game's legacy. That's always a good thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't really love Prince of Persia. It's not a series that I've clicked with, but I'm always glad to see good decisions like this. But if there was ever a year to delay a game, this is probably it. We keep talking about how much we already know is releasing and E3 hasn't started yet. My summer is packed, and I'm sure that your guys' is too. So, you know what? If you push this and maybe 5 other games to 2022, I'll be happy.
Well, that's
seriously.
That's the other interesting angle to this E3 is like, obviously it's not in person again because of ongoing COVID stuff, but like, what games would we have seen that we haven't, because of COVID? Like, everything I figure in the industry was delayed, like just kind of pushed back 6 months at least.
Oh yeah.
By COVID. And so like, yeah, I mean, Nintendo's the one with the big question marks for me, but so many things are going to be showing now that would have shown like months ago probably.
We have basically into September pretty firmly under lockdown. I guess it's just the fall season that we're going to be figuring out, which we still don't really know outside of a few things like Pokemon and I guess it was kind of revealed ahead of time, but Shin Megami Tensei 5 thanks to that leak. But yeah,
Beyond Good and Evil 2 is totally coming out, says Ditto Quest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to shadow drop it right at E3. It's going to be fine.
I know, right? As a few folks in our live audience chat are mentioning, Child of Light 2 would be nice.
Oh yeah.
And I know you mentioned that as well, Derek, in our discussion, I believe.
I believe it was Steve who mentioned that one. I played Child of Light, but Steve was the one who mentioned it.
I love that game.
Gotcha. It's a great game. Yeah, really just an elegant game. I love the art style, just the whole fairy tale feel of it. It was great.
Sorry, Ditto Quest. 11M? XL?
11M.
Yeah. I'm supposed to say the full name.
Ditto changes their name. Or, I'm sorry, Ditto Quest 11M changes their name seemingly every other episode or so.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's always Ditto and M with some game subtitle in between.
Love it.
There you go. But
Top Dog in our live audience chat posted an emoji of me and then a bathtub and then a keyboard. And assuming this is an external keyboard, I don't think those 3 things will go together well. If you want me to use the keyboard, bring it into the bath with me, man. Unless there's no water in there.
Hold on.
I might be saying like, at least it wasn't a toaster.
You don't have to plug it in and take it in there.
I brought
have a lot of fun with the keyboard not plugged in.
You can make it work.
All right, I'll figure out a way.
Yeah, just get one of those one of those bathtub like things that goes across the bathtub for putting snacks and like a glass of wine or in my case a cup of Coke.
There you go. Nice.
BJ Bovia in the YouTube chat, I appreciate that reference. It's like a pimp named Slickback. You got to say the full name.
Nice. Awesome.
All right. Well, I believe with that, we've covered all the major headlines from today's news. But before we sign off, Isla, I wonder where we can find you at. Why don't you tell us?
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast. I'm at Isla Hinck on Twitter. There's a hidden S and a hidden C in my name. Otherwise, Easy Allies. Check us out. We'll be covering E3 and stuff. It's gonna be fun.
Are you going to be reacting to every single stream that goes on, or are you going to skip a few?
Not every single one, but most of the big ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's our plan too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we've sat down and discussed which ones we're doing. I think we need to figure out, times. They haven't given us full times yet. That'd be nice.
Right. Yeah, we're figuring PC gaming show, unless they've announced in the last day or two that I missed, like probably gonna move because Microsoft was like, "No, we're going then," and it's like, okay. The play date is like tomorrow or Thursday or something, and I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to that little weird thing.
Oh, me too.
We're not reacting to it, but
but
we'll see. I need to see it in action.
I jumped into Pop Agenda's DMs as soon as they announced that they were repping them. I'm like, hey, cool. Quick reminder, I chased the dude from Panic down at PAX West and made him demo the playdate for me. So
you've seen one?
Yeah, I've played one.
Oh wow, cool.
So at the last PAX West before the pandemic, Panic had a small booth for Untitled Goose Game, but their CEO was floating around there, and he let me take a look at the play date, and there's a video up on GX about it from a long time ago now, but yeah, I got to play it. They only had like 2 games for it at the time, but he gave an in-depth demo of how it worked. It is a really charming little device. It looks every bit as cool in person as it does in
I can't
all
wait.
the press shots. Same.
I like
Nice.
Teenage
Nice.
Engineering stuff too. I have a bunch of their synths, so
Nice.
I'm looking forward to it. Match made in heaven.
Very cool.
Very cool.
But also, we should also give a special thanks to our patrons, both big and small, and especially those at the producer tier, as this show simply just would not be possible without all of you. Thank you so much. But a extra massive thank you to our executive producers and above, and that includes Jared Ettinger, Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Itiano Ben, Dan Intwistle, Dennis J, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, It's ATM, Octopuppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, Aiko Carroll, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Kitty Kong Fax, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotik, 112, John, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Emerald, Azran127, Ken Roulette 09, Pangrama, Jake Pelka, Geller, Shiny Turkey, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Charlie Bird, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Chomix, Andrew Medeiros, RM, Sakuragi, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Fizzy Wigoid, Critmonger, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, West Egg, Deaneth, Coda, Michael McCall, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straightlace, Hoobie, Wolf X Blake, Moon Macarons, Ascaron 1809, Kane, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, Christopher Masterson, Spicy Pandotter, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Ravelox, Synchro Lord, Brainchild, Rosa Bowling,
Hi, Mom.
Kotar Peck, Scuff 196, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, Blizzica, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Derek, Jeff Ed, Ray Clausen Jr., Nathan the voice actor, and Mega Conrad. Thank you all so much, as we are getting closer and closer to 90 executive producers.
Sorry,
Holy crap.
We do have one final one that just joined. Hulkamaniac 55.
Hulkamaniac 55.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I believe Hulkamaniac was a producer prior to this. Thank you so much, Hulkamaniac.
Very, very cool. Thank you all so much. And remember that you too can become a patron over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where you can get access to our exclusive post show and ad-free content for as little as $5 a month. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more good times like these. So until next time, good night, good vibes.
Bye, everyone.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye.